This is Jack again. Okay, I was speaking about Anu now, excuse me, realizing that he has to manifest this form here on Earth. It has to manifest together with this planet as one to be able to ensure that they have access to this world, to gold, to be able to take to their city. And Anu became hesitant. Anu became worried. Anu became fearful because he said, I need to have gold. If I don't have gold for my people won't survive. And he became angry because the Atlantians didn't want to hear him, and he said, and he knew that if he's not going to manifest this form, they're not going to make it. And at that moment when he went to the Atlanteans again, and with the serpent's voice still lingering in his head, he said to them, I need to inhabit this planet. If I don't, I won't survive, and neither will my people. And they said, no, then you have to go somewhere else. And at that point he went, basically, fuck you. I will have this planet. Gold is on this planet. This is supposed to be my planet anyway. I don't understand why you're here anyway, because gold is here, I'm here, I'm required to be here. So now there's much gold underneath the Earth's core. Remember, because it's now manifesting automatically, and they're still able to remove the gold interdimensionally. It took a while to manifest gold. Remember that, it takes a while. Especially the way they did it with the crystals and the sound resonances. So that's how they got their gold, manifested lots of gold, and Anu decided, you know what, fine. I will have you then power my vessels, and you will be my slaves. Because I need gold to survive. It was a statement, he needed gold to survive, and so did his planet, his entire city, and all the other people that inhabited there. So he got his form, and he went to the Syrians, and he went to the serpents as one. He said, listen, I'm taking over that planet. I'm having the Atlanteans inhabit the vessels, and they'll be my slaves to get the gold. I need gold, I need to survive. And the serpents loved it. They smiled, they said, great. And this is now where Enki and Enlil comes in, and the Syrians together. So there's Anu, Enki, Enlil, and a certain group of Syrians who worked with creation and manifestation in system form. So they said, okay, now you've got the brain, you've got the eyes, you've got the center point, you've got the skeleton, and you've got the system placement inside the form along the skeleton. Now they said, you need something, you need the physical form to basically sustain itself, you need the physical form to sustain itself on its own. Completely. This is not going to have it sustain itself. You will always require to be present to a certain extent. So they looked at why, but why can't it just stay that way? It looks perfectly fine. It works. And he said, so you want the Atlanteans to power your vessels. You want to have them be your slaves. But in this current system you can move in and you can move out as you please. So in other words, it's not going to work. You need to enslave them in your vessel. That's what I'm saying. That this is now the Syrians and the serpent saying together, kind of joining in, saying, you're going to need them to be enslaved inside the physical form, and that's why the form itself has to sustain itself, be alive on its own. And all you do is you power the movement and that which makes it think and look and do. They said, okay, so basically what you're saying, like this planet is formed, because this planet is alive with something, it's alive with an essence. And yet it moves, manifests, and by itself, it's sustaining itself. They designed the breathing, they designed the the blood flow, the organs and things like that, but the organs, the blood flow, the breathing, the mind, everything in one, the entire biology of the physical human form was developed over time. It took quite a while to figure out how exactly this is going to work. So they realized one thing, that something has to move in it as it the whole time to sustain itself, like a life force, which was the blood. The blood movement, the blood flow throughout the entire form. They required something that has that blood flow, that which flows the whole time to keep it alive. And that's where the heart comes from. So the heart pumps the blood the whole time, keeping the life moving inside it. Then you have, okay, the stomach didn't exist yet. Then, oh well, no, it did. No, it did, stomach. And then they realized that it requires to sustain itself with eating, with finding something to eat, to have it sustain itself, because they realized that what's happening, because of the systems that are placed into this form, it starts to deplete. In terms of the form itself is perfect. It didn't need to eat, it didn't need to sustain itself, but because of the system placements inside it that I've described to you by the Syrians, it started depleting the form. And they realized, oh shit, they need something to sustain this form. And that's where animals were manifested from. Animals were manifested from the serpents. The serpents manifested animals. Most of the animal kingdom, and basically the animals were designed in the form of that which will sustain this form inside this world, because they basically looked at on this planet. They basically looked at what is it that these systems are removing from the form. What is that essence that is required? And they realized it's a very substantial essence, so it actually feeds off the muscle tissue, which is the muscle tissue, and everything else is also designed with the form now inside. So the physical form was all developed. You know, the muscles were developed in requirement for protection of the organs that was inside. And they made a form, they made a vessel that would exist infinitely. That was what the human form was manifested as, an infinite manifestation. Okay, this is Jack. I'll continue in my next interview. Thank you very much.